Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about if there's any country living in Maryland and where you can find it. And let's get started right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about all things living in Maryland, the good, bad, and the ugly. If that's the kind of information you're looking for, this might be the right place for you. Feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified of our new weekly videos where we talk about all things Maryland. And if you ever have any real estate questions, if you're looking to buy, sell, rent, feel free to reach out to us anytime. We love taking your calls, answering any questions that you may have about moving here to Maryland. And let's get started right now where we're talking about where you can find country living in Maryland, give you some things to think about, some options here in the state. So let's jump right into it. All right, first let's start off with Baltimore County, and I'm also gonna piggyback and throw in Hartford County in this part of the discussion as well. So when you hear Baltimore, you think of more city living, Inner Harbor, and that kind of thing. But Baltimore County is massive. I'm just kind of thinking off the top of my head right now, but Baltimore County is probably the largest county as far as square miles and just raw size within the state of Maryland. So if you're looking on a map at Baltimore City, Baltimore County is on kind of the southwest side of the city, and it just goes all the way up, and it goes all the way to the state of Pennsylvania and runs a good bit along that state border there. So there is a huge part of Baltimore County that has some good rural country style living as well. So a couple parts that I want to mention: if you get onto Baltimore's Beltway 695, 795 kind of runs northwest and kind of cuts up more into like Owings Mills, Reisterstown area. So as you get into northern Reisterstown, there's some nice kind of more open properties. So that's an area I would check out. There is more expansion into Owings Mills area and southern Reisterstown, a lot of building going on there. But once you get into northern Reisterstown, you are going to see a little more spread out, a little more opportunity for some homes with a little more space, a little more land. So that's certainly an area I would check out. And then if you head east, a little bit northeast, and you head over towards 83, which also runs north-south, 83 will take you from Baltimore City all the way up to Pennsylvania. So in those areas, you're going to see like Phoenix and some areas around there, and then really all the way up 83. There's a ton of good opportunity for land, more rural setting as far as living. So that's an area you want to check out as well. And then from 83 to 95, so they're both running north-south. There's a ton, especially as you get a little further north, probably a good like 10 to 15 miles outside of the Beltway. You're going to see a lot more space and a lot of farmland and a lot of opportunity for more of that country and rural type living. So in between those, two highways, two interstates, if you will, I would certainly check that out. There's going to be a lot of opportunity. And kind of in the middle there of 83 and 95, you're going to have Baltimore County line, and then Hartford County is right next to it, which I mentioned earlier. So those counties are kind of both in that region, but have a lot of opportunity for rural settings. Okay, so from Baltimore County, we're going to next move west, and that's going to be Carroll County. So Carroll County is known within central Maryland. It's kind of one of the more rural counties, and it's kind of known in this area for that. So if you hear Carroll County, you think, oh man, those are Maryland country folks. So if you head west into Carroll County, there's going to be a lot of country living opportunity as well. So where 795, as I had mentioned, Reisterstown, if you head just north, where 75 kind of ends there and it turns into where you can either head up 30 north up to Pennsylvania, or 795 cuts all the way up through Westminster. So right there at the 795, 140 area, just north of Reisterstown, is Finksburg, and that's kind of the county line. Finksburg is in Carroll County, and that's a very popular area where there's still some space, pretty good schools, but you're also not too far from things. So you're probably about 35 minutes or so without traffic to Baltimore. Sometimes 795 can get a little bottlenecked and a little bit of traffic there. but no, it's usually not too bad. So Finksburg is an area I would check out. And then as you continue up 140, that's going to take you into Westminster. Now, Carroll County has been for a little while now expanding. So more and more people heading out, wanting space, wanting just kind of a quieter lifestyle. So you have seen Carroll County build up, but a lot of that building and closer housing is really more off of 140, because 140 has basically all the shopping, all the retail. So you're going to see that stuff pretty limited and close to 140. And then also 26, which is Liberty Road. That's more like, closer to southern Carroll County. There's a lot of newer homes and stuff around there as well. And 26 is pretty built up. A lot of shopping, a lot of restaurants, gyms, and things of that nature. So a lot of Carroll County's newer homes and homes on like less than quarter acres, townhomes and things like that are really along those two highways. If you get outside of those two highways, most of Carroll County is still farmland, still pretty rural settings and living. So that's a county that I would target as well if you're looking for pretty good schools and you're looking to kind of be a decent distance from Baltimore. That would be an area I would certainly check out. All right, next we'll talk about Western Howard County. So if you head out 70 kind of towards Frederick, if you're in between like Howard County, Ellicott City area, and Frederick, in the middle there along 70 is where Frederick County, Carroll County, and Howard County meet, like that tri-county area is right around Mount Airy. And then you've got like Woodbine, and you've got Sykesville if you head a little north into Carroll County. That's a really, really cool, really nice areas. Really good schools out there. So if you're looking for that kind of setting, I would certainly check out that region. Now, that is an expensive part. It is, it's expensive there. So that's something I would be prepared for. You're going to have to spend at least $500,000-$600,000 for a decent house out there, and then the more land and the nicer the house, that number will only go up. But that's certainly an area I would check out. And if you're a straight shot into Baltimore, so once you get to 70 cuts you all the way straight into Baltimore's Beltway, where you can get anywhere you need to for work and everything that Baltimore has to offer. Another little town there in southern Carroll County, not too far up from 70, is Eldersburg. So that's a really cool area that I would check out, and that's kind of not too far from Liberty Road. So you're not terribly far from shopping and retail and stuff like that. So that's an area I would check out. And then as you come a little more closer into suburban Howard County, so like western Ellicott City, has some nice, land properties and stuff like that. If you're looking for like an acre or two, you're going to see a lot more of that too. So I would certainly check out those areas. All right, next couple areas I want to mention are northern Montgomery County and then Howard County again. So south of 70, you still have a good chunk of Howard County. A couple of the areas there that you'll see on the map are like Glenelg, Clarksville, Dayton. You're going to see a lot of land out there, and that's prime Howard County real estate there. So it's going to get pricey. It's going to get well above $500,000-$600,000 in those areas. But if you're looking for that, you want Howard County schools, which are extremely desirable here in the state of Maryland. Those are some good areas to check out. Northern Montgomery County, so all the way from 29 all the way to 270, which kind of runs up from the DC Beltway to Frederick. And if you're up a little north of Silver Spring, that is kind of the rural part of Montgomery County. Also going to be very, very expensive. Montgomery County is highly tied to DC economy and jobs and stuff like that. So that's going to be in general the most expensive county here in the state of Maryland. But there is a lot of rural setting and stuff in that part of Montgomery County. But you do have to get north of kind of Silver Spring into that part of Montgomery County is where you'll see that. All right, next I want to mention Frederick County. So Frederick has really been built up over the last several years. So 270 has really brought a lot more of commuters from the DC marketplace up to that area and really built up Frederick. But still, if you get outside of kind of the Frederick City part, you are going to see a lot more land, a lot more space. So if you head east of Frederick City towards Howard County. You're going to have a Frederick part of Mount Airy, and you're going to have a couple other areas there, such as New Market and areas around there that are very rural, kind of definitely a country feel. So that's something that you would check out if you're. That would be more of a Baltimore commuting area there, east of Frederick. If you are commuting into DC or Montgomery County for work, it probably wouldn't be a terrible drive from more western parts of Frederick and maybe even a little north of the incorporated city part of Frederick. That would put you probably still at about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how far you get out there. So if you're a DC commuter, I would certainly check out those areas. You're going to have a lot more space and a lot more kind of open country type of living in those parts of Frederick County. All right, and then just want to mention Central Maryland as well, just between Baltimore and DC. So there's not going to be a ton of areas that are going to offer like the previous areas that I've mentioned. So there's not going to be a ton of land in these areas. These are highly developed areas within Central Maryland. But if you're looking for like a half acre to maybe 3/4 of an acre, there's definitely going to be properties that you can find with that offer that. It's just not going to be the norm. So, and that is going to come with a price tag, especially within parts of Anne Arundel County, more eastern part of Howard County, PG County, and Montgomery County. So if you're looking for a half acre, 3/4 of an acre, even if we see some acre properties pop up, you're going to be probably close to that 600,000-700,000 mark, but you'll see those pop up occasionally, which will definitely keep you closer to work, keep you closer to civilization, and you can definitely know that that's an option as well. All right, then of course, the most country and rural type of living in Maryland is going to come on the Eastern Shore and Western Maryland. So I'm just assuming that most people coming from out of the area are going to probably need to be closer to DC and Baltimore. So I wanted to speak to some areas that are not terribly far from there. But Eastern Shore is beautiful. And with the Bay Bridge, you do see people commuting into DC from there. So especially on the closer parts from the Eastern Shore. Once you get further in to those counties, you definitely get more and more remote and further from things, and the drive becomes a little more unbearable. But the Eastern Shore is almost all farmland. So when you're driving to Ocean City for your annual beach trip, you take the Bay Bridge, you get over the Eastern Shore, and it's pretty much just farmland until you hit Ocean City. I mean, it's pretty cool. So if you're looking for that, there's a ton of opportunity over on the Eastern Shore. So once you get past and you get west of Frederick County, that's really what's referred to as Western Maryland. So then you have Washington County, Allegheny County, and then Garrett County is the most west county within Maryland. That's basically right in between Pennsylvania and West Virginia. So just to give you an idea, once you hit Washington County, which is just west of Frederick, you got 150,000 people in that county. Then you hit Allegheny, cuts almost in half to 75,000 people. Then you get to Garrett County, 30,000 people in the entire county. So it gets very, very rural out there, and most of those people are probably in Deep Creek and kind of work in that area. So it gets very country out there. Depending on what you're looking for, you can check out those areas as well. Just be careful when you're out in Western Maryland. Keep your eye out for black bears. You will see them out there occasionally, so keep your eye out for that. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. Hope you learned something. If you ever need anything at all, feel free to comment below or reach out directly, and we'll see you at the next video.